Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Bonita Jalane, a sultry Brooklynite whose contributions to R&B and soul since 2005 have made her a standout artist in the music scene. With a unique sound that blends rhythmic tones and a vibrant energy of New York City, Bonita has captivated audiences and collaborated with industry heavyweights like R.J. Ryder, Cameron, and Chris Brown, just to name a few. From winning accolades for her hit single, Stare, to touring with Grammy Award-winning violinist Damien Escobar, Bonita has proven her versatility time and again. Her latest single, So High, has garnered significant attention, showcasing her ability to connect with both new and seasoned fans. Join us as we dive into Bonita's journey, her musical influences, and what's next for this rising star in the world of entertainment. This is Cynthia with Ourconic Entertainment, and today I am beyond excited. I have the pleasure of interviewing Miss Bonita Jalane today. Let me hold my composure. All is well. So, thank you for being here today. I'm really happy to see you fresh off the plane.
Yes.
Fresh off the plane. But I want to start right there.
Yes.
Fresh off the plane. Where have you been? What are you doing? Go.
Okay, so fresh off the plane from New York after just headlining my own intimate show at the legendary Sugar Bar, Ashford and Simpson's Sugar Bar in New York. It was beautiful to be back there. I'm just happy to be here with you as well. Yes. But it was beautiful to be back there. I'm from New York, and that was my first time performing since 2023. And so to be back there doing my own show, my own music, not opening for nobody else's, mine, having someone open for me, it was, I'm still on a high. I'm still so high.
I was going to say
yes, yes.
And so for anyone coming in that's like, oh, well, who's this lady that we are talking to today that's so high, right?
Yes, yes.
Tell us who you are, what you do, and where you are from.
Okay, I am a singer-songwriter. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I've been in Atlanta for, you might as well say I'm from Brooklyn and Atlanta and Philadelphia all mixed up in one. But I've been here about probably like 11, 12 years now. I still have 2 residents, so I'll go back and forth. I've been singing since I remember. My mom said I was holding a note since 10 months. So yeah, I was talking at 10 months. So obviously I was singing since then. But I didn't officially get into the music industry until like 2000 and I think 10, I started singing hooks. I was a teenager singing hooks for Dipset, and I was on a couple of albums. I just wanted to sing, so I didn't know nothing about the business. Okay. So I'm on so many albums, and it's just my voice. And a lot of times, some of them I got the credit for, some of them is just, you just hear and it's me.
Right.
And then I started pursuing it independently in 2014.
Okay.
And I dropped my first single. And it was featuring Mickey Fax, and it went everywhere.
What was
crazy.
The name of the first single?
Out of This World.
Out of This World.
Yes, and that was my first taste of, my own recognition besides like being around other, people that's out there. And it was a beautiful thing. And then I did my first project called Bonita Who. Independently funded, and then just kept going. And I'm right now on my 3rd project. I peaked, I had my single in 2022 called Retro, peak in Atlanta on V103, a few other stations, 107.5, and just like 4 or 5 times. But now today in 2025, well 2024, 25, I dropped a single called So High, and we are now charting on adult R&B media base. It is on over 20 to 30 stations, which is absolutely crazy.
Amazing.
In rotation, not 2-3 times. Like we looking at 200, 300 spins.
Right.
On over 20 stations.
Because we're the big deal.
Yes, and we are on the charts. That's a lot.
Yes.
So yeah,
that is amazing. Well, congratulations again. I keep saying that, but I really mean it. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I know the journey can be long, arduous.
Yes.
And so just tell me from your perspective, how have you kept this going? Come from, singing on hooks randomly, right?
Yeah.
To getting focused and saying, let me focus on what I love and me as an artist, like developing yourself as an artist.
Yeah.
What has kept you motivated?
A life, honestly. When I first started singing hooks, I'm a shelter only child. My mom raised me. My father was in my life, but he was, incarcerated for most of my life, and I didn't form a relationship with him until I was a teenager. He has like 9 kids. We're starting to build a relationship now. Like all of these things are experiences that I didn't really know that will impact me to this day.
Right.
But when I first started off, I was singing about Locked Up, singing about gangsta stuff that I knew nothing about.
Right.
And knowing the journey now when I'm doing my own music it's a total 360, because this is how life has changed. And I started wanting to talk about stuff that meant something to me, you know, not just growing up in the church, just being a child of this world, you know, being, you know, growing up in experiences and different stuff like that. I literally was like, okay, I have to talk about something that is going to help somebody and heal somebody, because music is my healing, it's my therapy. So it is a long journey. I give myself grace. At first I didn't, you know, I was so hard on myself, like, oh, because I came up with the Neos. I was in the studio with Chris Brown, like, I've been in the industry for a long time and seen how one day it would be like, hey, just, you know, I have to continue to introduce myself to the next day, like, oh my God, that's, you know, I've seen that happen to so many different people, and I'm like, okay, what's going on with me? But it's their journey, and my journey is totally different, and I give myself grace, because the levels that I was at before, the levels that I'm at now, I see the growth. Okay. And my mother used to collect turtles since I was little. She collected like little figurines and turtles, and never knew the significance. She just used to say, Bonita, you're so slow, like, as far as like getting ready and different stuff like that. And I used to say, well, I'm gonna change that into I'm a turtle, because like with the tortoise and the hare, who wins the race? I'm not gonna rush myself, I'm gonna take my time. And it's crazy, because in 2023, I went to Mexico to celebrate my birthday. Okay. And it was like, pick out your day, your birthday, the day on the Mayan calendar, and you need to see what your spirit animal is or whatever represents you. And mine was a turtle.
Oh, that is amazing.
So like 25 years later, like God don't make no mistakes though.
He doesn't.
So yeah.
He doesn't.
My turtle story.
It makes it even better, right? I love that for you. So you discussed a little bit about your father and having him, but not, right? How has that shaped you just as a woman? And I do self-care. Yeah. So let me reintroduce myself to you. I'm Cynthia Bailey, but I'm a holistic practitioner in my real life, right? And so I like to focus on the healing. Yes. Right? But you have to first identify that there is something that needs to be healed. Yes. So having your father incarcerated, how did that affect you? One as a woman and then as an artist? At first it did. I feel like I've passed, like not say past that, it's every day, one day at a time, right? But the journey, the relationship that I have with my father is absolutely amazing now because of the forgiveness that I gave him in order to forgive myself as well. Because I was blaming myself, like, why wasn't he in my life? Why did he have to be, locked up at the time when, I was supposed to have a father in my life? But I had amazing father figures in my life. My uncles, I had a stepfather who was very hands-on. So I had some amazing people in my life. So when I was able to form a relationship with my father when I was like 16, 17, when he, got out and started living his life, it became a friendship. And with healing, you have to recognize when your parents are humans too. Your parents have made mistakes. Your parents have went through things. And in this journey, I literally became really best friends with my father. And I felt, and not to say felt sorry for him because that was his journey. And I realized that he was a product of his environment. And the things that he went through, and he made those decisions, and that's how it impacted him, and that's how I was able to form a relationship. And I'm honestly, it's a beautiful thing when my sisters and brothers say that I kind of brought them back to my father too, because they had loss of contact and they were still healing from not having him, or some of them grew up with him and didn't have that relationship. And a lot of them said if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't even reconnect with him. And I, cried, and even the journey with my relationship with my brothers and sisters, having that is absolutely amazing. To have my sister drive down from South Carolina to come see my first sold out show at City Winery. She was there front and center. That's awesome. And when I first met her, when I was 13, not met her, but spoke to her on the phone, 13, she was like, I don't really care to know you. I didn't grow up with you. And now she's like, if anything I need, she don't play about me. So
Yeah.
Well, that's good to have that type of circle, especially blood related.
Yes.
Because
yes.
that in itself is a journey, which we talked about off camera.
Yes.
Right? Like how everything works together to get to a certain destination. And then we figure out, what did you say?
Yeah.
Why did it happen?
Yeah.
This is why, because I had to meet that person and that person.
Yeah.
And so how has that, because most times when women have a, kind of a weird relationship with, in the beginning with their fathers, that foundation, your first love.
It translates into relationships, right? That's what I would think the same thing, right? And that looking for love and that, trying to find it because I didn't have it in my father. I would say a part of it was there, but because I've had such strong male figures in my life, it wasn't as bad because one thing my mom just instilled in me was self-esteem and knowing my worth. And so that took me a long way as far as, yes, I wear my heart on a sleeve. My album is called Kept Kissing Frogs. I'm a hopeless romantic. Yes, I do have that. But I'm also very aware of my worth. My mother treated me, I was a princess. I'm the only child with her. You know what I'm saying? So I always knew my worth. So yes, I wore my heart on a sleeve and I would fall hard and I would be all into it. But if you break my heart and then you turn out to be a frog, I was easy to be like, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? And not a constant, constant breaking of it. But sometimes it took a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? Still wanting that male figure. And I feel like that's a part of the trauma that I dealt with. But with healing, you learn what those things are, and I would put it in my music. And I just felt like that was just a part of my journey to keep building and keep building, yeah.
I feel like you should write a book.
Everybody says that. That's coming too, right? That's definitely coming. I definitely see that in the future. The near future, I do, especially after this album. This album has been a huge healing for me. Kept Kissing Frogs, like people think it's not just about relationships with men, it's about relationships with friends, it's about relationships with partnerships. I've been through, my testimony is absolutely amazing. It's hard when I'm in it. If like some people like, how are you still talking? Like, how are you still not breaking down? Because the Most High don't play about me. I definitely do know that. But it's all a part of, like, I turned in, instead of saying snakes or people that broke my heart, I turned that into frogs. And so I'm not gonna keep kissing frogs. That's why I said kept kissing frogs. And I turned the frogs into forgive, release, overcome, and grow. Because if I hold on to those clutches and I hold on to the pain that fear caused me, not believing in myself caused me, someone stealing money from me caused me, publishing and different stuff like that, I would not be able to continue to grow. I have to grow. So I have to forgive it, I have to release it, I have to overcome it, and I have to grow so I can go so high.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that. No, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. And with that being said, when you're, again, reflecting from the before, the after, and then we even talked about you being in the studio with this current album. And where did you record that?
At Stinkonia. It was absolutely amazing. My first album, I recorded some songs there, and anytime I get a chance to go back into those legendary four walls in each one of the studios, I recorded in the A room and the B room, but it's so many nights that we have slept, like we've been in that room writing and getting up the next day working a regular job, you know what I'm saying, and then back there till wee hours in the morning and getting, you know what I'm saying, continue on a constant grind. And going back to that room in a place where I've made it. I'm not gonna say I haven't made it, but I feel like I still have, more recognition to get and start to see it. But I trust whatever is for me is going to be for me. I'm in my right lane. But being back in that room and recording this last single, and this single meaning so much to not just me, to a lot of people, it is I can't even describe it. I can't describe it. It was absolutely amazing.
And what's the name of this new single?
I Love Myself.
I Love Myself.
And that's a part of the journey too. Like, I could talk, like So High's charting on the radio is absolutely amazing. It's talking about the journey and different stuff like that. But in the midst of talking about my father, talking about growing up, talking about failed relationships, talking about failed partnerships, talking about all the things all the growing pains of life, right? to get to a place where I absolutely love myself. Whether I give up on music right now, whether I decide to travel, backpack around the world in Africa, I love myself so much, and that worth right there, that self-worth, I know that I can do anything. Anything I put my mind to.
Right.
Because I got my back.
Right.
So yeah, that meant a lot writing that song.
That's good. I got my back.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So how do you stay in the moment when you're experiencing
I know.
so high?
We was just talking about that. Since, I've been getting a lot of bookings, a lot of interviews, a lot of, traveling. Like, I just was in New Orleans doing Radio Row. I did like 10 media outlets in 2 days. And it was a constant moving. And as an independent artist, we're always thinking about what's next. Right. We're like, okay, yeah, we could literally just go accept the Grammy and we're like, so what's next? What's the next on the album? Right. So what I have to do is, in that moment, I have to literally, sometimes I don't even have my phone with me. Sometimes I really, sometimes I have one of my friends, Amir, he does a lot of stuff on my team, like when he's behind the scenes, I'll give him my phone. I just try to take it all in, breathe, understand that moment. Right now, I'm taking it all in. I'm breathing. We're here. This is someone who wants to know more about me, who's sharing their platform to inform other people about me. I'm taking that all in. When I just did my show and I had friends and family coming up to me, wanting to take pictures and telling me they wanted me to sing again, how my song, they cried during my song and how they played my song all day. That right there, I have to take all that in and just live in that moment.
That's wonderful. And
it's hard with social media. As an independent artist, we gotta, not only do we have to perform, we gotta post about it. We gotta send the write-up. We gotta, and even if we have a team, we're still on top of it and still doing a lot of stuff. It can be overwhelming after a while. You have to take those self-care moments where you just have to be quiet. Sometimes I won't even listen to music in the car. I literally would just drive in silence. Sometimes when I get home, I'll just put on a frequency just to hear it. Sometimes just birds chirping to water flowing, just so I can remember where I'm at and who I am and be able to perform and do it again.
I would just like to say that this is the easiest interview I've ever done. Because literally everything that's in my head, you're like, oh, here you go. No, here you go.
Here you go.
No, here you go.
Same frequency. That's always a good thing.
So it's everything that I'm like, wait, but I didn't say that yet.
I love that.
But that's awesome. So when you're speaking of self-care, right? So do you have you just came off a plane. Do you have a routine? Do you literally hand your phone and say, I'm gonna go shower, I'm gonna take a bath? Am I doing salts? Literally, if you want to share with the women out here, they want to know how to decompress.
My decompression, I can't go, I have to have a bath. I have to have bath and candles. And this is why part of my merch is candles that I handmade. When I handmade them with love, I put, some of them have calming CBD in them, so when you burn it, some of them, most of them, they all have dry flowers. I literally put the dry flowers in there. I literally hand make these candles because I know, even when I'm in the studio, I have a candle burning. You know what I'm saying? I need that. So I literally burn a candle, I put on some music, I put my bubble bath and my Epsom salt inside of, exactly, and I just relax and just calm down because it could be very overstimulating to have so many people pulling at you and it's overwhelming to looking. And when I wrote my single Black Rose, that was part of my last album. No, it's actually gonna be on this one, which is crazy. Okay. Sorry, I'm all over the place. But I literally said, I don't get excited anymore when I get those likes because it was I had a song called Unfollow and I was so overwhelmed with how many people like me. I'm going to so many industry people coming to shows and stuff and I'm like, okay, but how many followers does she have? Yes. How many views does she have on this? And it was so overwhelming that I started second guessing myself and doubting myself. I don't have that and da-da-da, it's about the music. And I was just shut it off. Cut the noise. Shut the noise. When I'm in my bath, when I got my music and my candle, cut it all out. Even if it's for 30 minutes, that time is needed at all times.
Do you journal?
Yes, very much so. Yes.
Is that I have
too many journals.
Are the journals turning into albums, or is it just separate?
It's separate. It's separate because when I first started writing music, I would write it down. I was big on writing, and now I have this new thing where I'm big about the feeling and freestyling. So I think I'm a rapper in my head.
Okay,
so
that's all good.
Most of my songs, I'll go in there. If you ever see me in the studio, like, and I've like revealed sometimes, like I want to do more behind the scenes of you seeing how I work in the studio. But if you ever see me in the studio, I literally go in the booth, I'm like, all right, play the track, and I literally freestyle the whole thing. And then in there, sometimes it's the song that comes right away. Sometimes I go back and then we'll find something within and I'll go back and then I start building from there. Yeah, so
that's good.
My journaling is just for my journaling. One thing my mother instilled, I was always reading. I was a nerd, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still a nerd, but I was always reading and started writing poems and songs since I could write.
Okay.
So I have books on books on books. Some of them that I thought I lost and my mom still has. You know what I mean? So I used to write poems. I used to write books. In high school, I used to write these little short stories, and literally they used to fight about who's gonna read it next.
Okay.
Yeah, so fiction. So it's a lot of untapped, and I would say—
Can you get some of those for the next
Yeah,
time?
I know, right? Me finding myself and loving myself again, I'm finding all of the like painting again, writing poems again. I'm finding all those things that I felt like I lost during this journey, trying to fit in or trying to be like other artists and trying to compare myself. I'm getting back to Bo from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Little Nita. Like I'm getting back to her because she was so free. She just wanted to create and be creative and tapping into those untapped loves. So when you said a book, it's like, okay, that's confirmation for something that not just a book about my life, but also a fictional book, also a children's book, also all those different things that's gonna play on whatever's next in my journey.
And so you're an all-around artist.
Yes, I am. Yes.